She invited her maid to a billionaire gala to humiliate her. But the moment she stepped out of that car in a $2 million dress, the entire room went silent. Seoul glittered at night, but nothing shone brighter than the Imperial Aurora Hall. Crystal chandeliers dripped from the ceiling like frozen rain. A marble staircase curved down into a sea of silk gowns and tailored suits. Soft classical music floated through the air, blending with the quiet hum of wealth, power, and influence. And at the center of it all, Yoon Ha-won. She stood at the top of the staircase like a queen surveying her kingdom. Draped in a custom ivory gown, diamonds resting effortlessly against her collarbone, she radiated control. Everything tonight was hers. The guest list? Handpicked. The media? Controlled. The power in the room? Balanced, because of her. But Ha-won was bored. She had seen it all. Predictable smiles. Fake laughter. People bowing just enough to stay in favor. So tonight, she decided to create something unforgettable. "You're thinking that look again," her friend Minute-seo said, stepping beside her with a glass of champagne. Ha-won smirked slightly. "What look?" "The dangerous one." Ha-won's eyes drifted lazily across the hall. Then she spoke. "I invited someone." "Oh?" Minute-seo raised a brow. "Another politician? A rival's wife?" Ha-won let out a soft, amused breath. "My maid." There was a pause. Then, laughter. "You're joking." "I never joke about entertainment," Ha-won replied. Another friend leaned in. "You mean, that quiet black girl? The one who barely speaks?" "Gabrielle," Ha-won said, as if the name itself amused her. "Yes." "And you invited her here?" Minute-seo asked, eyes widening. "To this gala?" Ha-won nodded slowly, savoring the moment already. "I told her to wear whatever she has." The group burst into laughter again. "Oh, this is going to be good. She'll probably show up in something cheap. Or worse, something completely inappropriate." Ha-won took a slow sip of her drink. "That's the point." Her voice lowered, sharp and deliberate. "I want everyone to see her. To laugh. To remember her place." Earlier that day, Gabrielle stood in the servants' quarters, the soft hum of cleaning equipment in the background. Her uniform was simple, neat, and carefully pressed. She always made sure of that. Order mattered. Dignity mattered. Even in silence. When Ha-won entered, the room shifted instantly. Staff straightened. Conversations died. "You," Ha-won said, pointing lightly. Gabrielle stepped forward. "Yes?" "There's a gala tonight," Ha-won said casually. "You're coming?" Gabrielle blinked once. "Just once." "I'm sorry." "You heard me," Ha-won replied. "You're invited." A few of the other staff exchanged uneasy glances. Gabrielle hesitated. "I don't think." "I wasn't asking," Ha-won cut in smoothly. Then came the final line, the one delivered with a soft, cruel smile. "Wear whatever you have." Silence filled the room. Gabrielle's fingers tightened slightly at her sides. She understood. Of course she did. This wasn't kindness. It was a stage. And she was meant to be the joke. But instead of refusing, she nodded. "All right." Ha-won studied her for a second, almost disappointed at how easily she accepted it. Then she turned and walked away. "Don't be late," she added. Back at the gala, time passed. Guests arrived in waves of luxury. Names were announced. Cameras flashed. Laughter echoed. But Ha-won kept glancing toward the entrance. Maybe she got scared, Minute-seo whispered. Or maybe she realized she'd embarrass herself, another added. Ha-won smirked faintly. "No," she said. "She'll come." And then the doors opened. At first, nothing seemed unusual. Until a sleek black limousine pulled up outside. It didn't belong to any name on the list. Conversations slowed. Eyes turned. The driver stepped out, moving with quiet precision. He walked to the back door and opened it. For a moment, nothing. Then, a single heel touched the ground. And Gabrielle stepped out. Everything stopped. Not slowed. Not shifted. Stopped. The air itself seemed to pause. She wore a gown that didn't just shine, it commanded light. Deep midnight blue, layered with intricate detailing that shimmered like stars scattered across the sky. The fabric moved like liquid. The train flowed behind her in perfect elegance. Every inch of it screamed one thing. Unreachable. Unquestionable. Power. Her hair was styled flawlessly. Her posture straight. Her expression calm, but no longer quiet. She wasn't shrinking. She wasn't apologizing. She wasn't invisible. She walked forward. And the crowd parted without being asked. Who is she? That dress? It's couture. No, it's beyond couture. Hawan's smile slowly disappeared. Her fingers tightened around her glass. As Gabrielle climbed the staircase, step by step, the sound of her heels echoed like a countdown. Until she stood face to face with Hawan. Silence wrapped around them. Then Gabrielle spoke, her voice soft, but steady. You said I should wear whatever I have. And in that moment, the joke cracked. The room didn't return to normal. It shifted its center. And that center was Gabrielle. People whispered openly now. Some stared. Others pretended not to, but failed. That's not a maid. There's no way. That gown alone is worth a fortune. Millions. Hawan felt something unfamiliar crawling up her spine. Loss of control. She stepped closer, her voice low and sharp. Where did you get that? Gabrielle met her gaze calmly. It's mine. Hawan let out a short, disbelieving laugh. Don't insult me. You work for me. Gabrielle tilted her head slightly. I worked for you. The correction was subtle, but devastating. Before Hawan could respond, the atmosphere changed again. This time, heavier. More serious. A group of high-profile figures entered the hall, their presence instantly commanding respect. Even the most powerful guests stepped aside. At their center stood a man whose name alone carried global weight. His eyes scanned the room and landed on Gabrielle. For the first time that night, he smiled. There you are. Gabrielle's expression softened just slightly. Good evening, father. The word hit like thunder. Hawan froze. Father? The man stepped forward, his calm authority filling the space. Yes, he said simply. My daughter. The whispers turned into shockwaves. Daughter? Wait, who is she? Gabrielle Laurent, he said clearly. The name spread instantly. Laurent International. Luxury conglomerates. Global influence. Old money that didn't need attention, it controlled it. Hawan's lips parted slightly. That's not possible. Gabrielle stepped forward, now fully seen. I chose to work here, she said. No anger. No bitterness. Just truth. I wanted to experience life without a title. To see how people treat others when they think no one important is watching. Her eyes locked onto Hawan's. And now I understand. Each word landed precisely. Carefully. Unavoidably. Hawan felt her chest tighten. For once, there was no clever response. No control. No power play. Just exposure. Around them, the energy shifted again, this time toward Gabrielle. People who had ignored her now watched her carefully. Some even stepped forward, offering polite nods, respect. Real respect. Not fear. Not status. Respect. Gabrielle turned back to Hawan. Thank you for inviting me, she said politely. A pause. Then. It revealed more than you planned. And with that, she walked away. The crowd parted once again, but this time, not out of curiosity. Out of recognition. Hawan stood alone at the top of her own staircase. The queen, without a throne. The room still glittered. The music still played. But something had changed forever. Because for the first time in her carefully controlled world, Yoon Hawan learned a truth no wealth could protect her from. You can dress in power. You can act like royalty. You can control a room. But real class? Real class walks in quietly. And doesn't need permission to be seen.